Welcome to the Spark by Hollywood podcast. I am your host, Devora Goldberg. In this podcast, I guide my listeners through a deeper look into the parallel paradigm of Hollywood versus Jewish ideas, love, relationships, and empowerment, and uncover which one is truly attainable and sustainable for us as Jews to achieve. Thank you for joining. We have with us today in studio a wonderful guest, Greg Stark. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it inviting me on here.
Oh, my pleasure. I want to just tell our listeners that I actually recently met you.
Yeah.
And it was just the first time I met you, I was just taken by your positivity, your light.
Thank you.
Your just acceptance of everyone. And I think we just delved into a conversation and we just had so much to talk about. And I'm like, is someone pressing record? Because this is a podcast episode in itself.
Yeah. Came out really organic.
Very organic. But the reason why I wanted to have you on is because you and I are both Jewish.
Right.
And yet we come from two different backgrounds and angles of Judaism.
Right.
And the way that Judaism in general and Jews, how they are portrayed many times in Hollywood is with a negative light.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the narrative that, hey, the Jews own the media, the Jews own Hollywood.
Right.
Sometimes it's a Jewish stereotypical behavior.
Right.
Sometimes it's someone who used to be Jewish who left the fold.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of bringing up all their dirt and all they're hanging up their dirty laundry.
Right.
But you and I had a great conversation, even though we came from different aspects in Judaism. So I'm an Orthodox Jew and you come from conservative Judaism. We had so much to talk about and we had so much in alignment.
Right.
So if we can start off, if you can tell me a little bit about your upbringing as in conservatism and how that impacted your life today.
So funny thing is, like, I didn't know. We got into it before you left, but I didn't know I was Jewish until like I got much older. So like I did like Jewish things with my friends and stuff like that. Like I would go to my Jewish friend's bar mitzvah. His name is Ben. Went to his bar mitzvah, and I've done a lot of things right in the Jewish community, and not knowing that I myself was Jewish.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have a bar mitzvah like Ben?
Funny thing is, like, I was talking to my rabbi the other day, and he's like, "We have to do your bar mitzvah."
You never had a bar mitzvah?
Never had it. And he was like, "You never had it? Like, what are you waiting for?" And I was like, "No, I'm just here, right?"
Yeah, you can have it at any age.
Yeah, any age.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, my Rabbi Feldman, he didn't have his until he was my age.
Really?
Yeah, 23, because he's from Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, and he moved to Israel, as you like.
Yes.
A lot of Russians moved to Israel during I think the Soviet Union and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't had it yet, but I'm getting it soon. But the way I was brought up, I didn't really get religious until I've gotten like, I'm getting older. I'm getting more religious and stuff like that, and just embracing my Judaism. So I could have went Orthodox. I could have went Reform. I could have went conservative. I have so much respect for Orthodox, right? And I just personally can't live that lifestyle yet as a 22-year-old. Yeah, I know a lot of people do it, but like at my age, me personally, I can't live that life yet.
Yes.
So I went conservative because it's like a good middle ground for me, and and here I am today talking with you.
Amazing. Are there specific Jewish aspects that you look up to at this point in your life, at the age of 22, where you see that it enriches your life and you cannot imagine a life without it because it kind of grounds you into who you are as a Jew?
Okay. So the Jewish aspect, like the Jewish thing that speaks to me the most, right, that we have is like this sense of like crazy community. Like we were just talking and we were like, I almost shook your hand. Like, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm Orthodox." And he's like, "Oh no, I can't shake any man's hand." And I was like, "Oh, you're Orthodox." And I was like, "Okay." And then we just we just bonded off of that, both being Jewish, even though we come from different backgrounds, both being Jewish. And like that community, like, okay, like, you know, this might as well be my sister.
Yes.
Like, you know, and that's what brings me the most. And like, you know, the spiritual aspect of Judaism is really beautiful. Like just walking into my synagogue every Friday for Shabbat is just like an experience in itself, because how beautiful it is.
Yes.
When we sing our songs for Shabbat, our prayers, it is just beautiful. Everything is beautiful. I mean, Hebrew in itself is beautiful.
Yes.
So when you listen to it, you like, it's like something's like you're tapping into like a lost, you know, far away like culture.
Yes.
And you're preserving it. And it's like, it's just amazing. Everything about it. Like it just so attractive to me. So yeah.
That's beautiful. And I love what you said about being anchored into a past of being connected to so much tradition.
Right.
Because that anchor that takes us back literally to the days of creation. Right. Because the Torah that we study, the words that we say in our prayers, it starts back from the first days of creation.
Exactly.
And it brings us throughout history.
Right.
But it anchors us all. It anchors the Orthodox Jew.
Right.
It anchors the conservative Jew.
Right.
And it anchors the Reformed Jew. Right. And however you identify yourself, but the Jew is a Jew. Right. And it brings us back to this root of who we are. Yeah. And that ties into the songs, right? You say you walk into your synagogue. Yeah. The same songs that they're singing in your synagogue, they're singing in an Orthodox synagogue. Exactly. And we're all ushering in the Shabbat with a beautiful, heartfelt song.
It's beautiful. It's one of the most amazing things a person can witness in their lifetime. It's like, I mean, and the way I've seen nothing but love from everybody, you know, and it's just, I can never be more thankful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's just, I don't want to get too emotional, but like, it's
Go for
like, it's honestly one of the most, how I've been accepted and like taken under so many people's wing. And before I was even religious like that, it would Jewish people, my friends, they would come on, Jordan, let's do this, let's do that. And like, if I was like the outsider in school, because I moved around a lot as a kid, if I was the outsider in school, like I have some Jewish friends talk to me and like usher me in. And like, it's that just makes you feel so right in this religion. Yes. It's one of the most beautiful religions on earth.
Yes. It's kind of like that tribal feeling.
Exactly.
Like wherever you are around the world, like we're talking right now in Florida, but if we were to go to Israel and we see a bunch of strangers there, but we walk to the Western Wall and we're all Jews from all walks of life. Yeah. We feel that tribal unity regardless of where you come from. And not only that, at the Western Wall, we don't only have Jews, you got Christians come as well.
Everybody. Like that's another thing too that's awesome about Israel and Judaism. We let anybody, Christian, Muslim, even though we're having a thing with Palestine, it's like everybody's allowed in. You can come. Like
you can come. Let's do it peacefully.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can come in
peacefully, but come in. It's all that's amazing. Like that's like not the bash Christians, but like if the Vatican owned a whole country, I'm sure like there would be some law like, hold up, you can't come in here type thing. And
first like, dips for the Christians.
Yeah, right. Everybody like, I don't know about you.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful and it is accepting. Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, you and I were speaking earlier and you mentioned to me that you were taken by the episode that we put out last week by Mrs. Hannah Weisberg. She spoke about women empowerment and the fact that this narrative put out in Hollywood that the woman she really has to be defined in a certain way, which is very male defining. And that really makes a woman empowered and strong.
Right.
And that's the better way to portray yourself in society.
Right.
And you mentioned to me that you were raised by amazing, wonderful women. I want you to tell our listeners a little bit about that.
Okay. So, I was I was raised by my mother. My dad was somewhat in my life and stuff like that. He got more into my life when I was getting older. But I was just raised by my mother, my aunties, my grandmother. I mean, it was just nothing but powerful women there. And like, I feel like in a way, society has twisted it where like, in order for a woman to be powerful, she has to be a man. And like, that's not necessarily true at all. Like, I have so much respect for my mother because she is a woman and she has female qualities. And that's what like I love about it. Yes. That's what I love about her. That's what I love about femininity. It's the caring aspect. It's just being a woman, and being a woman in itself is more powerful than I think a lot of people in my generation will give credit for. Like, yeah, a man is powerful, but a woman is also powerful in itself. Like, if women stop trying to be men, and in that sense, like, and try to look inside themselves, I feel like we'd be in a lot better place in this like whole gender war thing. And yeah, I just like that. Again, I've been raised by all women, and I have so much respect for my mother and my aunties and my grandmother. Like, they all just, it took a whole, it's like that old saying, it takes a tribe to raise a child.
It does.
And my tribe was just all women. So
and it sounds like you appreciate them all.
Oh, I love them to death.
Is there something that stands out, some women empowerment quality? And it could just be something as simple as love or caring or hearing or understanding that stands out for you about your mom, your aunt, your grandma, that really stands out to you. And you're like, she's a shining star.
I think what quality I like the most is that they can turn any bad situation and make it seem not that bad anymore. Like the women in my family, like, they have like the technique of just joking around, right? When like bad stuff is happening around them, right? Like, we won't always be doom and gloom all the time. And I hate that. I hate being doom and gloom. But like, everybody in my family we're like, oh, we'll just be joking about stuff, and like the walls are caving in. It's like, but that's such a useful quality to me, because like,
sounds very positive.
It's super positive, because like, when I'm stressed out either about school or bills I have to pay or something like that, and like, I won't be too stressed out, because like, I can just be talking to my wife or something like that and just be able to laugh. Like, just being able to laugh is really good when like you feel like the walls are caving in, but it's not as bad as you think it is. Absolutely.
And I think that's an excellent quality to teach your child, to teach the next generation, because we never know what kind of adversity we're ever going to feel. And giving you that tool that you now can use, you can pass it on to others, God willing, one day pass it on to your children. That it's not all that horrible. It's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah, it's not. And that's another thing about Judaism. It's like, we preach, well, we don't preach, but we have this philosophy of let's make the world a better place while we're here.
Yes.
A lot of like other religions are like, die and you get to live the best life, but on earth we can live our best life. And that's another beautiful thing I love about this religion.
Absolutely. And to that point, you mentioned to me that you like to volunteer as well.
Oh yeah.
In Judaism, in a lot of different communities, there's a lot of charity, giving back, volunteering. What kind of work do you like to do to give back to the community that you love so much?
I just like helping out like local businesses. I'm like a cinematographer, so like I just did like a commercial for my local sub shop free of charge. Like, I was just like, this is all free. This is because it's a mutual benefit for both of us. And doing stuff like that, like going around helping people. Like, there's a community called Rise in Palm Beach somewhere in Palm Beach.
Okay.
I forgot the exact location. It was my first time going when you called me.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first time going. It was for MLK Day, and we were just like passing out pamphlets, walking around. I was walking around with my rabbi, just asking him just the most random questions to my rabbi, and like it was just a good moment. And like my rabbi pointed out, Gaston, he pointed out on the shirt they had like sponsors, right? And all the sponsors were like Jewish temples or Jewish organizations, and I was like, you know, you just feel proud, you know, like you feel proud because we're so involved in the community, and that doesn't get enough light in Hollywood, honestly.
Yes, absolutely. I want to point out, as a beautiful human being and a Black Jew as well, you say that you feel very much welcomed and very much taken in. Yeah. And there's no discrimination necessarily about race and color.
No, I never experienced racism. You might get like the odd look, like what are you like? Not even like, what are you doing here? Like curious, like where do you come from?
Yeah, where do you fit in?
Yeah, like we have so many people. The reason why it might be different, and I'm not gonna say there's not racism, but like it might be different if wherever you live or where everybody's listening. But here in Florida, we have so much diversity too.
Yes.
Yeah. So like when I went to my synagogue, right, and I was talking to my rabbi's from Argentina. Like, and we had a cantor come from Budapest.
Wow.
Or Buddha. And he was just singing his songs and like the deep voice, and there's so much culture. I asked the guy, I always forget his name, but he's from Israel. Yeah. He lived in France. There's like, so
we come from all
walks of the world. Like, so like, I never really got that. I know people talk about it. Like, I never got that. Yeah. Never.
Absolutely. And I think it's important because there's always a lot of talk about, you know, racism and Black Lives Matter. Yes. And for me personally, I just love the fact that instead of speaking and fighting and screaming about it, we could just act. We could just walk the walk and talk the talk. You meet someone and you have a conversation, and it's beautiful and it's positive. You don't have to go into different narratives or play different cards. It's just love, acceptance, and that's how you have diversity. That's how you bring out the beauty in this world.
Yeah, like that, you encapsulated it perfectly. Like instead of screaming and shouting about, like, just walk the walk. You know, like don't talk the talk, walk the walk, basically. And in my synagogue, we do it. Yeah. And most synagogues I've been to, they do it. Right. Most of the people, my Jewish friends, they're mostly like white. And they do it like then. Oh, you're Black. Oh, like who cares? Like
no difference.
Yeah, it makes no difference because a Jew is a Jew. Yes. And like I don't know like where like this like stereotype like Jews racism thing, because it does not exist for me at least.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And I think that if we come out, more people just saying, it just doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's all beautiful. It's good. I respect you. You respect me.
Exactly.
And we can live side by side. This was an absolutely beautiful conversation. Right. Before we end off, do you want to share with our listeners if there is anywhere that they can find you, follow you, connect with you? I'm mainly on Instagram. I just started a new Instagram page, Gregory J. Douglas. That's my father's name, Douglas. Yeah, you can find me there. Amazing.
And
this was an absolute pleasure, a conversation that it just flowed, and you have so much wisdom to share with everyone, Greg. And it was, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for today's episode. If you are loving the Spark by Hollywood podcast, kindly leave me a 5-star review on the platform that you're listening on. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Sparked by Hollywood. That's where the conversations happen. That's where I give you extra content on all my episodes, and where you can send me your feedback, your comments, and questions. And finally, in a world where we are all enamored by the spark of Hollywood and its celebrities, always remember your own spark that you carry within you, that makes you the gift that the world needs to shine that much brighter. I'll catch you in the next episode.